Welcome back to Put You On. My name is Michael. I'm here with my dad.
Hey everyone, it's Mike.
And today we're listening to our first record of the year, which is a record that's been highly requested, which is called Preacher's Daughter.
Oh yeah.
By Ethel Cain. It was on our last poll on our Patreon, and it was pretty close in the votes. Brett ended up winning, so that was our final album reaction of the year. But I think it was like 45 or 46% of votes went to Preacher's Daughter, so it wasn't a blowout. I know it's an album that's been requested for a very long time. I'll also say, I think I sound weird. I'm a little nasally.
Yeah.
So the plan was originally today, this artist, Ethel Cain, their second album came out today. So my plan was to have this one done, then do the second one today, but I was sick, so we didn't record for the past 5 days.
Right.
So either way, we're still going to do this one first and then do the second one, for the next one.
50K, huh?
Yeah. Also, that being said, thank you all for 50,000. We hit it on the last day of the year.
It was awesome. We had like a New Year's Eve countdown.
We watched a little countdown on our screen during the day.
It was great.
So yeah, thanks for all the support on the last video, and thanks for 50K. And I figured what better way to start the year than with probably one of the last super highly requested albums on a list. I mean, there's still others that are requested, but in terms of high demand, I say this is one of the last highly demanded ones on the channel.
Yeah.
So I did minimal research. I didn't want to do too much because I also didn't want to read too much into the album and know too much before. I still want it to be brand new to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't heard any of it, but I did do a little bit of reading on her, which I'll tell you a little bit about her background, because I think it's a big part of this album, which is a concept album, which I think, again, why people were saying not to go in completely blind.
Okay.
But also track by track, I didn't do any breakdown, but I do have the tab open with all the tracks. So I figured we'll listen to each track, give our own thoughts and opinions, and then read about what the background is of it. So we still will give our own first thoughts without any influence.
Okay.
But we'll have the reference there so we can sort of follow along.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This story. So we'll still have our first reaction, but have some guidance along the way. So I'm just going to read this brief background here because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, born in Tallahassee, Florida, 4 children. Her father was a deacon. She was involved in the church choir from a young age, like her mother. At age 8, she began studying classical piano with musical influences from a variety of Christian music, because that's what she was surrounded with. The church was Adahonia's first exposure to music. She said, "My whole life was always singing, always music all the time." She left the church at age 16, and she was also homeschooled her entire life.
Wow.
And from what else I read, it seems that the rest of her family is now all also out of the church and away from the church. She herself does not practice anymore, but she does still say that because that was such a big part of her life, that the values that she learned from it are a big part of her life, but the actual practicing and teachings are a lot of things that I guess she didn't agree with or grew away from. I'm guessing a lot of things will be said and explored through this record, which is hence why I think people wanted me to do a little bit of research before we went in.
Is that last name is that like Greek or is it Spanish? I can't.
It says Greek.
All right.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, well,
So I guess Greek.
I grew up with a lot of them.
Is that a name that you, or it just
No, it's
sounds-
just, I mean, you start to get accustomed with the pronunciation of things. So I just had a hunch.
Yeah.
But Cain, I guess you might have taken that from the Bible.
Cain and
Cain
Abel,
and Abel,
right?
yeah.
So yeah,
And Ethel is a very unusual name for a younger. I mean, Ethel was popular in
let me
the
pull up
50s and 40s.
I'm pull up the album cover here because it also appears to be like an old style photo.
Yeah, that's like the apartment I was describing to you this morning.
Yeah. So
Dimly lit.
if I were to just give predictions,
Yeah.
again, we'll see. But it seems like there's some sort of character work going here. I'm not sure, but it seems like maybe if this is a concept album, again, this is a total guess.
Ethel
And I didn't.
Cain being
Maybe this album will be through the eyes of a character.
Okay.
But probably stemming from a lot of
based on
That's what I would
a true
imagine.
story, like the movies say.
Yeah, because from what people have said about like wanting to know her background and stuff, I'd imagine there's stuff from her personal life. But to me, it already seems like maybe she's someone, just from the fact that she has a different name for the artist and a concept album. This is also her first record, her debut record. Okay. This came out in 2022 also. I don't know if I said that.
That's fairly new.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it. I've heard one song of hers ever, and that was in recent times, and that was a single.
Okay.
So everything is pretty much brand new to me, as I will be to you.
Okay.
I'll stop talking. We'll jump into the first track, see what it sounds like. It's called Family Tree, and it's the intro. I'll put the lyrics up here too.
It's just like one of the things that she recorded at a sermon or something.
Yes.
Pulled her from a sermon.
These crosses all over my body remind me of who I used to be. And Christ, forgive these bones I'm hiding. From no one successfully. Jesus can always reject his father, but he cannot escape his mother's blood.
I'm definitely happy we have the lyrics up.
I barely can hear
It's spacey.
Yeah, it's almost like
She sounds like a ghost.
whispering. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a ghost is singing to us.
Big sound, the sound gives it the feeling of an importance.
Yeah.
Of the strength of a song, that it's meaningful to her, the way she's performing it, especially. It's one of those songs, when I hear it, I can picture it being faster. Like it has a da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's a nice melody, but she chose to really slow it down and give it that
spacey,
big, echoey delivery.
Yeah. It sounds like you're like in like the middle of a desert at night, and it's just like wisping past you, the music. Just Songwriting, very interesting already.
Intense.
I mean, very serious, very religious.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the song also could have been called Mother. A lot of
female.
Speaking of the connection to the mother,
or even like the preacher's daughter, could have been, but
but the connection to the mother, and that part was interesting. Like the Jesus can always reject his father, but he cannot escape his mother's blood.
Yep.
Good intro track though.
Yeah.
Very atmospheric. I think it's good stage
definitely matches what's being conveyed to us so far, what we know.
I think track 2 is the most popular one on here from what I was looking at, just at the streams.
Okay.
So maybe this got popular after its release, or was a single. It's called American Teenager. We'll see if it transitions. I don't think so.
Feels like you too. The
Yeah.
Edge.
Grew up under yellow light on the street, putting too much faith in the make-believe at another high school football team. The neighbor's brother came home in a box, but he wanted to go, so maybe it was his fault. Another red heart taken by the American dream. Say what you want, but say it like you mean it with your fist for once. A long cold war with your kids in the front. Just give it one more day, then you're done. I do what I want, crying in the bleachers, and I said it was fun. I don't need anything from anyone.
Feels like Taylor a little bit.
Yeah, it's picking up a
A lot of
different
things.
things, yeah.
Cranberries.
little like Florence and the Machine too.
It feels like a very familiar song.
But lyrically, very different. Don't stop.
A little bit. That too, yeah. I mean, definitely a country feel, like when they tell those stories about the football in
Yeah.
high school.
Great tune.
Yeah. Very, very familiar sounding, with a lot of familiarity to Taylor's storytelling. Cranberries of that, ooh, where the lead singer
The
breaks her
vocal break,
voice.
yeah.
And
Her
just-
lyrics are really interesting too. I mean, that's a very enjoyable sounding song. Kind of has that like also epic feel to it. That grandness.
a lot of
like you can
reverb.
see it being played on a big stage.
Yeah.
But the lyrics are not very uplifting.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I mean, if you think of, the lyrics on American Idiot with Green Day, that was all
Yeah.
kind of
You know,
revolutionary.
it's interesting you say that. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that feeling of the like.
Well, you have
She sounds critical.
Well, you have you always have the, God and guns, right? You always have the difference. I believe in God and God's going to save me, but, don't take my guns. And
Yeah. So this
like
sounds
that.
like her,
statement.
yeah, on that,
Going
maybe
to
it's his
war,
fault.
the American
he wanted to
dream.
go,
Yeah,
guns, definitely people being taken away.
right.
But yeah, it's interesting though, because it sounds very fun, sounds very uplifting, but
it has that country music feel of telling the story, but not a big hook, not a big main chorus part.
And also her already early in the album questioning her faith very early on. Mm-hmm. Jesus, if you're there, why do I feel alone in this room with you? Growing up, I was surrounded by visions of NASCAR, rock and roll, and being the one who would change everything.
Oh, so maybe Dale is Dale Earnhardt.
Ah, Dale.
I was going to say it's either Dale Earnhardt, especially in Florida, they have all those races. In Tallahassee, right?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Surrounded by visions of NASCAR, rock and roll, and being the one who would change everything. They make you think it's all achievable and that if nothing else, you should at least die trying. What they don't tell you is that you need your neighbor more than your country needs you. I wrote the song as an expression of my frustration with all the things the American teenager is supposed to be, but never had any real chance of becoming. So I'd say we were pretty pretty on track there with that one also. Track 3 is called A House in Nebraska.
Big piano start.
A lot of reverb so far on this album.
Yes.
Labored breaths and bed sores, sing it to me all day long. When the aching sound of silence used to be your favorite song. And I still call home that house in Nebraska, where we found each other on a dirty mattress on the second floor. While the world was empty, save you and I. Where you came and I left, and you left and I cried.
This sound is incredible.
That whole song up until that point was just that one
Just the piano.
key.
Wow.
To see if I'm doing well. And I lie to her and say that I'm doing fine, when really I'd kill myself to hold you one more time. While the world was empty, save you and I. While you came and I left, and you left and I cried. While you told me, but if we died tonight, then I'd die yours. So I lie there to you every night, and you might never come back home, and I may never sleep at night. But God, I just hope that you wouldn't find out that I just pray that you're alright. And I feel so alone, and I feel so alone out here.
Wow. Holy shit.
Very
Wow.
good song.
I'm glad I have these tissues. It's supposed to be for my mucus, but it's double purpose.
Very beautiful song.
That was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
How to do very much with very little.
Yeah.
101.
I mean,
Holy.
that when I was really young, Grandpa would take us to his cousin's house in Englewood, New Jersey, and Auntie she lived with them, and she had this big piano in a sunroom, and me and my sister would go in there, and I would do stuff like that. Just like the lower ones always intrigued me because of the sound. and I would, either punch them and just let it go as long as it could go.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you could actually hear the wood of the piano. Sometimes when the piano's very old, the keys get like, you can actually hear the key when you're hitting it, like because they're made of wood.
Yeah.
Most times, I think. And boy, I love that piano. But the sound, and the thing that stuck to me too was very early on. She said, "Save for something." The first time I ever saw that used in a sentence was when I read a letter that Aunt Kathleen gave me that my dad wrote to her right before he was going into the army.
Save you?
Yeah. Right? Where we found each other on the mattress on the second floor, where I missed you and I need you still, where the world was empty, save you and I, except for you and I.
Ah.
It's a
I didn't
very...
catch that. Yeah, I've heard it used like a couple times, but
yeah, it's not well. I think it was an older form of writing. So again, she's going to a very old style of English.
The visuals though that she created with that track.
What did you feel?
Oh my God, I was all over the place. I mean, the whole like house and the mattress and the waiting for the person to come home and
the
thinking
old
of
lady,
being
the
back.
mother calling her.
There is so much happening in that
It felt
track.
like a dream.
It did.
It really felt like
did.
she's, and I guess the picture adds to that.
It's I feel like of the first 3 tracks, what like this soundscape that she's doing and creating worked the most for me on this one so far. Like I was totally in on
I think you're
this
right.
environment.
Not just a ghost, but it feels like she's an old soul.
Yeah.
It's almost like she had this past life.
I mean, like photographs of our school days.
Yeah.
You were so beautiful. Track 4 is called Western Nights.
He's never looked more beautiful on his Harley in the parking lot.
Still piano.
Breaking
Yeah.
into
Everything's very sparse.
the ATMs. Sleeping naked when it gets too hot. I watched him show his love through shades of black and blue.
That reminds me of Ultraviolence. All the way she would cleverly express the abuse that she was going through.
Fights at the bar across the street, like you do. The neighbors peed on the walls, while I'm face first in the bed. Trouble's always gonna find you, baby. But so will I, crying only because I'm happy. Hold me across every state line. I'm never gonna leave you, baby. Even if you lose what's left of your mind.
She has a very interesting voice.
Yeah, this is in the lower range, this
Yeah.
song, right?
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to my daddy in a long, long time. I don't want him to worry.
Listen to that.
Always wondering if I'm alright. I'm never gonna leave you, baby.
Very atmospheric every track so far. That seems to be like the forefront of what she's creating, putting you in a environment with her storytelling
But
and sounds.
yeah, but feeling very much like it's like stuff that happened.
Yeah, it's
You know?
weird, isn't it?
It's all past past life.
Fleeting memories.
Yeah.
of the TV static, I'll still be alright. Clinging on to you like some love blind addict. I'll be screaming your name. Could be okay.
Maybe this is like the guy she went to after the last guy. The one she loved. Or maybe it is that same guy. We'll see. Genius will tell us.
Yeah, it just gives me the feel of a gangster outlaw type of boyfriend
Yeah.
with the girl tagging along no matter what.
Like I said, it reminded me a lot of Ultraviolence. Like, that whole album was pretty much centered around
Yeah.
the toxic relationship and her clinging to the guy and
Yeah.
him having a girlfriend or wife on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of that feeling.
Yeah. It just has this old, and great title, has
Western
a very
Night.
old Western feel except for the Harley.
Yeah.
But, almost like a Bonnie and Clyde, like riding the desert on a horse and
Yeah.
robbing banks. And
But the sound is very consistent so far in this album.
it's
very
all this bung,
emotive,
piano,
reverberated.
bung.
I think that all kind of adds to the feeling of like these memories, and it doesn't feel like
And even the picture, I mean, it just feels like it's a
a
old
flashback.
just this old time.
Like someone found this record in like
Yeah.
like I don't know, like an
Yeah.
old safe buried underground.
Yeah, or it's coming from a person who, they say some people have an old soul.
Yeah.
They seem more mature than their age, or they seem like they've seen a lot in their short time.
Western Nights tells the story of Ethel and her new man. Okay, so I was right. New man. So this was after the last guy, reflecting on him. Now she got with someone who's maybe not so great.
Bad
Logan
boy.
Phelps. They're all naming full names too, which I think is crazy. I don't know if that's other people's findings or her. But anyways, Logan is less than kind, or these are character names like Ethel Cain. Could be that too. 'Cause they're saying Ethel Cain, which is not.
The names are changed to protect the innocent.
Logan is less than kind, at times violent, but Ethel finds herself hopelessly in love with him despite his faults. I think we pretty much said that. Just
Come
about.
on. Come on.
We're not that dumb.
We's dumb, but we ain't that dumb.
We could do some simple reading between the lines.
Remedial math.
Track 5 is called Family Tree.
Remind me of who I used to be.
Even this one could have just been the one piano.
Give myself up to him an offering.
Is she referring to tattoos, I guess, when she says that?
What?
These crosses all over my body? Tattoos or cuts or...
Either one.
Curious. Maybe Genius will have that if I click it after.
Let him make a woman out of me.
Sound like flies buzzing.
It's all very Exorcist type stuff.
Kind of creepy.
My mama raised me better than that. When the preacher talks, that man demands his silence.
Get my gun.
What a sound she's created so far. White horse, that usually symbolizes What does that usually symbolize? White horse.
Purity.
I think so. I'm trying to do some dissecting here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the intro part, I felt it was like a, I said maybe like an interracial marriage or something, or a relationship, but it sounds like she killed someone and now she's swinging for it by the family tree.
Yeah.
Nice solo.
Pretty badass track.
Nice.
Great headphone album.
Yeah.
I mean, so
The back
many
and
little
forth
intricate
and the sounds.
delicate. Wow.
A lot of patience with the tracks too. There's no.
Oh, she
you
has
don't feel
no
like it's
problem
rushing.
She has
to
no
the
problem giving you a
outro.
whole saga.
Yeah, in one song.
Yeah, and just letting it.
I agree. Yeah, they all breathe out.
I feel like by doing that though, it lets that environment, that feeling build instead of just giving you little glimpses. It's letting you sit in these
Yes.
stories and these memories.
Yeah, the one thing I was thinking on this one is
Badass.
I remember listening to like Johnny Cash when I first heard like Johnny Cash. He he had a rough life too, and it kind of came through in his songs.
Yeah.
And then towards later in his life, he got really, really low in the way he sang, and it feels like that. Like she's
what was that song? Hurt.
yes, she's got a way of delivering those slow lyrics in the low tone, but then when she raises it up, she bellows it out.
I almost talked over that one. I wasn't because I wasn't expecting it there because she keeps such a even.
Very,
But
yeah.
when it comes,
she
it's
rose right up.
wow. She has a hell of a voice or a heaven of a voice. I don't know. Fascinating track though. Yeah, something about murder in there, like that. How she flipped that last line with the bones I've been hiding to the bones I'm about to leave.
Yeah, that's good.
Or I don't know if that's. See, now the genius will help us here. I don't know if that means referring to herself, referring to someone else referring to her. This is
I
where
thought it
genius
was like her after she's getting hanged.
oh, bones I'm about to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, I'm curious though. Let's see. I was also curious about the
they might not go into that deep.
white horse. I want to see. I don't know.
I
if
mean,
genius will say anything.
every
But I mean, it's
every
referenced a
good
lot.
guy
Like,
rides the white horse. Every sheriff rides the white horse. The bad guys
Right.
ride the black horse and the black hat.
being bathed clean in the river with Cain's religious background implies a kind of baptism, the washing away of sin. White horses are normally depicted with valiant princes riding them. Logan was no prince, but he did love Ethel in his own way and took her around the country. The marriage imagery continues because now her prince is taking her to the chapel. The chorus has Ethel receiving the first sacrament, baptism. The chorus. Oh, really? Huh.
Take me to the chapel. Get on your right. Put me on the back of your white horse. Take me to the chapel.
After the death of her boyfriend Logan, in a police shootout following a bank robbery. See, how do we miss that? Or maybe it's buried in those lyrics somewhere. Ethel
Well-
finds herself on the run from the cops.
Well, she's in the Western Nights. She said about
Oh, right.
robbing ATMs and
Okay. So now I'm seeing we went from kind of like memories, but it's kind of starting to string along a little bit. It's going from one event to the other instead of just random Ethel finds herself on the run from the cops. Things get worse when she discovers a disturbing family secret. The story continues. Fascinating. Track 6 is called Hard Times. Let's see where this story goes.
Definitely songs, like you said, doing a lot with a little.
Yes. She's definitely a songwriter, like, at the forefront.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's what's guiding the album.
Yeah, the lyrics.
Tell me a story about how it ends, where you're still the good guy. I'll make pretend, 'cause I hate this story where happiness ends and dies with you. In the corner on my birthday,
Some drums, huh?
you watch me dancing right there in the grass. I was too young to notice that some types of love could be bad. Praying I'd be like you, doing all of the things that you do.
She's a very, can't even think of the word. Intoxicating sound. Intoxicating something. You get drawn into her little world very easily. That she, with her sound. That's a great hook.
While it doesn't come across
Wow.
as it, the music is like what they use in like a waltz.
Ah, yeah.
Like you could
Yeah.
see them dancing. You could actually dance to this. Like
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
It's a slow
cowboy
song.
boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow jam.
One.
Oh, man. I guess what I was trying to say before was everything that I believe she's attempting to do is working on a first
Oh,
listen.
100%.
Like, in terms of the feeling, the emotion,
Definitely.
with so little, which I find so incredible that she's getting it done with
just
minimal
the
production.
piano, guitar.
But the feeling that she's trying to convey
You know, it's
through
like
all these tracks works.
Yeah, there's just some drum, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and piano. I mean, I haven't heard one harmonica, horn. You know, it's all classical
That was
stuff.
one of the more simple songs in terms of
Yeah, it had that
songwriting, storytelling. But-
dun.
I think that's a perfect placement after a lot of those
Yeah,
longer, epic.
yeah, just kind of like a reflection.
But like I was saying, the emotion though, with everything, with the reverb and the production choices and her vocals, it's like
Yes,
it's keeping you in this, whatever this little picture is here. Whatever the word is for this. I don't know if it's nostalgia or if it's I don't know. But whatever the feeling is, it's working. It's conveying. It's very easy to like. Again, we didn't know, but this would be a perfect lay back.
yeah.
Perfect.
I wonder.
To just soak it in.
You said this
eyes
is her
closed.
debut album.
Yeah.
Was it up for like best new artist or anything like that? Did she get nominated?
I didn't look
at
into the
all?
nominations. Closing out Act 1. Okay, didn't know that. I guess there's 2 acts. Closing out Act 1 of the album, Hard Times, sees Ethel reflecting on the sexual abuse she endured from her father when she was a child and the complicated feelings she has in regards to him. Timeout.
Oh,
Okay, so let's go back. See, so now this is why I'm happy we have.
So the daddy needing her daddy Little girl needs her daddy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And other times where she said, I was your girl and you were my man.
Oh, 9 going on 18.
Oh, boy.
I mean, kind of self-explanatory. I don't think about it.
So maybe
9
the
going on 18.
hatred then and the shooting, maybe she shot her dad. And then the mother said, I taught you better than that. I don't know. I mean,
This kind of changes the whole song.
Yeah.
See, that's so
I'm not saying
fascinating
that
how
she did in real life, but that the character, the character, I could see building up that rage and acting out, but with the guy.
See, now this whole verse is different. Tell me a story about how it ends, where you're still the good guy. I'll make it pretend, because I hate this story where happiness ends and dies with you. Wow.
Yeah, because she shot him.
Happiness ends and dies with you. Wow, that is deep. That's heavy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that.
I thought good guys get to be happy. I'm not happy. I'm poison in the water and unhappy. Little girl who needs her daddy real bad. Wow, that is devastating. This was already like a emotional verse hearing it without the context. But with it, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I guess I should say they're not seeing it in the corner on my birthday.
Yeah.
Dancing in the green grass. I was too young to notice that some types of love could be bad. Ugh. Oh my gosh. I mean, it feels weird to say it, but a beautiful way to convey this. I know that the feeling is not beautiful, but a beautiful way to convey it in the fact that we could listen to it on a first listen and feel it as such a beautiful record and then take it with such a different meaning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
The pain behind it.
She conveyed it in a very, I guess that's what songwriters are good at. Not saying like this, and this happened and not laying it
right.
You know, out to you to front. But once you know the context, it's like, wow.
Yeah. The only thing this is a little bit veiled in the descriptions of what happened to her, but it makes me think of Aerosmith's Jenny's Got a Gun, you know, when she shot her dad for abusing her.
Oh, right. Jenny's got a...
Yeah, and I remember when that came out, it was like, because there was no mistaking what it was about. You know, it was very much about the young person taking control over being victimized. But she's doing it in, like you said, taking a horrible experience and still being able to just, if you listened casually, right, it would just be a nice song.
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing too, is I'm reading the lyrics and, you know, I'm feeling these like sad emotions of, you know, being isolated, but what is that tied to?
I would not
without
have
the
put that.
context.
No.
Track 7 is called Thoroughfare?
Yeah.
Thoroughfare? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, like a main thoroughfare, like a highway.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that before. So it's like a road?
A highway, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. I didn't know that.
Very.
And as sparse as the production is, it's fantastic so far.
With America when you were 12 years old. And by 17 you knew you had to see it all. You loved your dad and the love he had for your mother, so you had to get out and go chasing that sweet call.
Monica?
Yep. I was just saying how we hadn't heard it, but now we did.
And I said, honey, love's never meant much to me. But I'll come with you if you're sure it's what you need.
Think we can get some drums in this
We
one?
made off for California to find your lover, driving day and night in every small town diner. Saw our faces at least once. once or twice, but in these motel rooms I started to see you differently. And he said it's been a long damn time since I left Florida. No one left to lead and no one left to love. But now that I met you, I finally know just where I'm headed. And we found heaven and time, where your western sunshine met my deep southern wet. I said, honey, love's never meant much to me, but I'll come with you if you're sure it's what you need.
Earl Fair, connecting it like this, right?
On the highway.
Yeah, this runaway, travel, this person.
And once we reached the coast, you said, end of the line. We finally reached the edge. After all this time, I didn't find my love, but I still made it this far without it. And you said, hey, do you wanna see the worst of me? 'Cause love's out there, and I can't leave it be. And I said, honey, love's never meant that much to me.
I just can't help but think this whole track, how good this would be live. This sounds like it was made to be performed live. Always love that.
Yeah, me too. And the body of the
It's very
guitar.
Rolling Stones. Little tambourine now.
Yep. Jam session coming up, I think. Would you relax? Love it.
She's feeling this song, huh?
Whoa. Like a jet taking off.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
Ah,
Man.
that's a hell of a tune.
Nice Act 2 start.
Oh man.
That was bad.
I love the whole track before this jam session felt so lax and so stream of consciousness, way less than anything on the first act, I guess, if that's what it was. Like, felt so wispy, and I mean, it still feels like she's telling you about these memories of this thing, but this feels more present. It feels more like she's telling this story.
This could have been just a very generic girl meets boy, boy takes her for
Saga.
a ride to the west.
Tale.
Well, I don't love you, but it was great.
Yeah.
You know, have a great life
But-
kind of thing. But
Oh man, the music and
Yeah.
her voice, more than any so far. I mean,
a lot of blues roots there, country, rock
I love
guitar,
hearing that artist in the moment
just
trying the
feeling it.
melodies and the
Yeah.
sounds and the instrumentation.
Jamming out.
Perfect track placement.
Yeah,
After
good
such
start.
a heavy,
Yeah. Revelation.
to
Now
kind of
it's
give
like
you
this
some
could
breathing.
be that could just be a generic song about, you know, like I said, just somebody
A little
taking a trip
tale.
out west.
Yeah. Fantastic track.
Cool.
I'm not even gonna look at that one.
No? Oh,
Should
I do. Yeah,
Should
I
I?
want
Okay,
to
okay.
now. Now
Actually, after the last
now
one,
I'm involved in the comic.
Actually, what am I saying? I was thinking like, you know what, we nailed it. But then the last one, if we skipped the last one, it would have been a nightmare.
It would have been a shame.
Okay, so
Yeah, no, I
let's
feel
glance.
it's like reading a comic book.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. We're in it. Who am I kidding? Let's see. Act 2 of the album begins with Thoroughfare. Ethel, having run away from home, meets charming Isaiah, who offers her a ride. Together, they drive from Texas to California. Over the course of their trip, they find themselves attracted to one another.
We picked it up.
We're good.
Okay. All right.
Didn't miss anything.
But it was a great jam.
Great jam.
Great jam.
Track 8 is called Gibson Girl.